Good afternoon, Tucson. Hello, everyone. So I want to come on air today. I was reading some reviews. I'm thinking about starting a small series, apartment living reviews, because I've seen some stuff that blows my mind, and I can't believe people were actually fighting over it. But it was about 6 years ago. I lived in a complex, and there had a lot of problems there. Uh, I didn't care, just one ear out the other. I don't usually socialize in my complexes. They come to me all the time. It's strange. I'm not asking for it. They just come in. So they talk to me about things and so on. So one day I get this phone call, and they said that I was missing 3 months of rent. I said, "Oh yeah." And then yeah, they said, "We need you to come down so we can work out an arrangement for you to pay that 3 months." So I took my little book because when I moved into this complex, Father had stated to me to start keeping track of my receipts because I was paid with a money order. So I got me this little book and I kept track of my receipts of my rent stubs and also my utilities I paid every month. Anything that I paid, even if I had to print off my bank statement, I did, and I put it in that book each month. So I go down to the office and I go, "Can you tell me what months that I haven't paid for?" And she's, "Yes, they're right here." So she shows it to me. And I pull out my book and I hand it to her. And I said, this month, and this month. Yeah, they couldn't say anything. And there was another gentleman who also was called down. He was younger than me. Him too had his receipts. So then month passes. I get a phone call. We see that you're missing 3 months of rent. And I said, "Oh yeah." And they're like, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I was just down there the month before showing my receipts that I keep track of everything in a book. Would you like to see a copy?" He goes, "Yes, matter of fact." So I get down there with my book and they take pictures of my receipts this time. And it's the third management. Uh, so each time it was different. I didn't know because I don't know what's going on in the community. And I sit on my porch and do my own thing. I'm not in the community. I don't know. So what happened was I didn't have those receipts. I would have been paying those 3 months, but I didn't have extra money because, you know. So I don't do that anymore. I actually pay through my bank. They do have apps now that you can pay right through it through uh, through the app. You can pay it, but I really don't like using those. I prefer to use money orders from my bank. It may cost me $5 per one. I don't care. You cashed it, it's going to have your name written all over it. Um, there are people who have had experiences of lost leases from the management of whatever apartment complex that they're working with or living on, excuse me. And I mean, they go rounds and rounds with them. Even though they have their copy of their signed lease, they're like, "Oh no, you have to sign a new one." And then they jack the rent on it. What is that? Well, the person also had a lot of problems in their apartment, and I think it wasn't a lost lease. I think it was they were bothered, so they wanted just to make his life hectic because nobody wants to fix the problems, the mushrooms that are growing out of the wall because of leaking air conditioners, which has mold in there. And in the leases, it states, first time you smell or see anything growing out, that means there's moisture. Please let the office know right away. So you do that, and then they don't fix the problem. Instead, they make your life a living hell. That's not right. And there's laws to protect you against that. It's called Landlord Tenant Act. Every state has one. The second thing I want to state too is that if you won't take my rent, fine. I'll take it to the courthouse and I'll put it in an escrow account through the courthouse and I'll file a lawsuit because I have a signed lease that states this is what I pay every month. I don't have to sign a new lease. Not my problem. You lost my lease. You can take a copy of my lease and correct your issue, but there's no way that I would sign a new lease, nor would I pay any more than I was contracted to pay through a binding contract. But you just keep those leases in your office, your computers go down and they get wiped out. That means that somebody's been in your system. Um, I want to go to court and find out what happened to it. And then we see where it goes from there. Here, I've been paying this for 6 months. These are the issues I'm having in my apartment. And all of a sudden, my lease is lost, and they want me to sign a lease with higher pay to pay more money on it. And then when they finally do find the lease, oh, here we found your lease. What about the 4 months that you already paid on that higher lease you had me sign? Where's my money back on that? So there's a lot of issues in complexes. It can be really hell. Um, heard through a grapevine with another person. Um, he had been complaining about a couple of things. They were minor. They could have been fixed right away, and that would have been the end of it. Nope. 5 months later, they're harassing him, and he's a senior citizen. That ticks me off because now you're harassing an old man that's by himself when the fix was minor. It's 2 seconds since you walked down that hallway 150 times a day. Super strange. But if I ever see it, I'm standing up for him. I even thought about going to his door. That's elder abuse. That's not allowed either. You don't have a right to harass people. And it's a shame that these things are happening. You don't have enough stress just trying to stay alive, and you got this other crap pounding on you. I have news for you. Stress causes cancer, and a lot more stress doesn't help. And it hurts me to know that he didn't have a happy ending. Not on, not where he lived. Hopefully he lived a fulfilled life. I pray. I have another spirit too, who's been popping up out there in the hallway. I'm just waiting for him to come through completely so we can have some conversation, see what happened to him. I know that someone died here on the property because his mail's been just tossed wherever. Um, but there's a lot of issues that needs to be addressed here, you know. But I'm going to start searching through apartment reviews, and we're going to start talking about those things because I think it's interesting. People don't realize they have rights. You can scream and holler all you want on a review, which is great because it brings attention to others who actually can help. In the future, you have this thing called Attorney General's Office. You can file a consumer complaint. You can file, if you're wrongfully fired, you can do it all online, or you can print off the information and hand deliver it. Great, peace. I'll leave that with you. God bless.